right, so here's me. Some of you haven't had me for everything, so this might be a repeat for some of you, but so I'm originally from Minnesota. Minnesota, I like to call it. And I went to graduate school in 1993 to Iowa State University up in Ames, as I mentioned, and to work on my PhD in economics. And then the guy who I was scrubbing toilets and mowing lawns for offered me a slice of his real estate business. So I jumped on that opportunity, conditional upon being able to continue to teach at the university. I'd bop across the street, teach some economics classes, and then come back. I got my real estate license and my broker's license, kind of ran a small sales operation, but we're primarily specialized in college student housing. And we'd kind of do duplexes and houses. We had about 800 apartment units across the street from Iowa State. So we got pretty involved in different things, and I was what you call a real estate developer. So I worked with a multimillionaire guy who was a real hard-driving, fun guy, but knew business and knew it well. And so I got to tag along on a number of stuff. And him being a real estate developer really needed some creativity in a lot of cases. Sometimes I was using my creativity to work around stupid laws that were on the books, like the height of a building. To give you an example, we were building a mid-rise building, and there was a restriction that said all buildings must only be 7 stories high. And so we wanted to be, this was right across the street from the Iowa State campus. And so what we ended up doing was finding a little carve out in the law that allowed a second level within a story. So we had 2-story units with a spiral staircase going up to the second level, called a mezzanine. And as long as there was only not more than 36% of the floor area upstairs compared to the unit downstairs, so there would have been like a bedroom. We usually had like 2 bedrooms upstairs. Then this whole vaulted space, which was a 20-foot floor-to-ceiling height, was considered 1 story. So by doing that, we were able to pack in over 400 bedrooms into this building. And we had, it was right across the street from the Iowa State campus, and then there was a 3-level parking garage that went underground 2 levels as well. And so this whole building sat in there, and it was 127 feet tall, which is the tallest building still in Ames, because they changed the rule after McCulloch came up with this idea on how to do that. So that was one application of kind of like, okay, here's the law or the rules that we have. You know, is it possible to be creative and get our objectives a different way? And then we got into that with a lot of stuff like we did college student housing. So college students like to trash common areas with puke and beer cans and other stuff on the weekends. And so we started designing buildings that would accommodate that, since that was our crowd. And so started designing exterior balconies that were the entrances into the unit. So we have a 3-story unit where traditionally we might have had the common area in the middle. We just made everything exterior balconies, so then the students would kind of go right into their unit from each level. Right? So then again, kind of an application of design, and as it worked with real estate. And so my old mentor, Ev Cochran, would generally tell some person would maybe want to partner up with us and say, oh, give it to Russ, he'll figure it out. So I would kind of come up with some sort of solution that was generally on the creative part. And so I really appreciate this class, that we're going to learn a lot of tools that can help you to think that way, and also help you to lead others into using their brains in a creative way to come up with solutions. So that's really kind of the core of the course. All right, so now let's go ahead and get into rows. So go ahead, grab your syllabus. We're going to have kind of a syllabus speed dating type of thing going on. Let's just have you guys stand, I think, for this. I don't want to have you all in a row, so let's have you guys all stand. I think we have equal on each side, so let's have you guys stand and stand here. And you guys stand against that wall. And there's only 5 of us, so we just have 5 rows. You can split out. Somebody can go all the way to the back, and we're going to rotate too. So, Sean, why don't you come here with Bobby, and then just kind of spread out. This is for one-on-one. Really, you can go with here, maybe down this color. Yeah, this one, whatever works. All right. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a question about the syllabus. So when I ask it, you guys will go to the center and meet each other again. Even though we went through the room, you're going to go back and introduce each other. Because of COVID, we'll hold off on handshakes, but I normally do handshakes. But give your name, where you're from, and then I'm going to announce a question that's related to the syllabus, and the 2 of you together are going to find the answer to it. All right, and then I'm going to ask a wild card question that you 2 will share with each other. So this is a way for you guys to meet other people in the class. All right. All right, so we've hammered through most of this stuff. You got my contact information, office hours. I want to run through the course objectives real quick, because this course can be a little bit different than from some others, especially for me teaching it. So it's a good reminder for me to run through. So what should you be able to do? Compare and contrast a number of contemporary ideas of leadership that encourage creativity and innovation and how they will be applied to actual situations. So we're going to do a lot of apply type work. We'll read something and then apply it to your life, especially with that 21 Irrefutable Laws of leadership. Develop a personal leadership model that's conducive to establishing a culture of creativity and change. Judge approaches to effective leadership such as collaboration, coaching, facilitating, and leading change and culture and their impact on creativity. Analyze personal leadership style and approach to create personal leadership development and to improve leadership capability. Appraise a business challenge or opportunity and design a leadership approach to address this issue. Predict organization and member performance based on leadership approaches in this course. So one of the things that we're going to do later on is to tackle a problem that maybe an organization or an issue that they're having. So I think the very first time I did this, are you guys familiar with Trendel lumber? It's a small lumber company here in town. You might have just driven past it and not blinked an eye. It's not the do-it-yourself store at the home base at the south end of Maine, but in the middle, right off 15th Street, there's a lumber store there that mostly caters to commercial businesses. And so it's Jim Trendel is his name. He's a local Ottawan, and he has a sign up there that says, "Where service matters." Well, it was this class that came up with that slogan. We learned about his business, what his thing was, how we could come up with improvements. We came up with different things, and we ended up establishing that slogan that he actually has on his sign, "Where service matters." We did the Ottawa Municipal Auditorium. We came up with some ideas to make that a little more successful. Pizza Village on Main Street, and then a local organization called Ripples of Change was the one that we did last year. We came up with some kind of marketing materials. So we're going to take a lot of what we learned. This will be a little bit later on in the course. But as we work through some of the material, we're going to do that towards the end and try to help an organization out. This term, we're going to do a company or a nonprofit organization called Education and More. And I'm a little biased on this one. My wife is one of the executives on it, but they help out families in Guatemala. And so we're going to kind of learn about that and maybe come up with some creative approaches to solving some of the problems that they face with that. And so with each time I've done this, we've been able to come up with something significant that was there, and we'll present that to hopefully the board, but a minimum my wife who's on the board, and she's active in it, but we'll try to get some of the others via Zoom, some of the owners of this nonprofit organization, and you guys, we're going to present the material and stuff that you come up with. That's part of how we tackle that objective up there. Any questions or comments on that? That's down the road a little ways, but part of the fun with the course. So here's the required materials. You've got 3 things. I think all of these are pretty available on the internet fairly cheaply. So creative leadership, this is kind of our textbook basically for the class. Creative leadership by these 3 authors, and fairly easy little book, but this is where we're going to get a lot of the horsepower of the tools that we're going to use to try to tackle those problems of the nonprofit organization and come up with kind of creative solutions and techniques to use. So that's this book. Did anybody pick their stuff up yet from the bookstore, or did you look? Is it listed even? Did anybody do that? Kind of normal to come to class now and not do it to the end, but they should have this at the bookstore, and we're going to dive right into all this stuff. This is an 8-week class. This is the first time I've taught it as an 8-week class, but I think this class is really conducive to that. So we have 4 class meetings each week. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, from this 11:45 to 1. So Wednesdays we'll have off, and we're just going to be chugging through it. Now, spring break is a little bit of a wrinkle. When is spring break? Next week. So we basically meet for a week, and then we're off for a week, but we're only off with really our face-to-face meetings for 2 of them. So you guys probably haven't thought twice about this, but I kind of covered this with the academic dean to make sure that he was in line with this, and he was. So because we're an 8-week class, basically each time we have 4 class meetings per week. So 2 of those class meetings is like 1 week. So you're going to have some work on spring break. We're not going to meet face-to-face, though. I'm not going to, of course, do that. I would not do that. I'd probably get killed if I did that. So, but you are going to have some work to do during the course of spring break, which will be kind of on your own time. So you can be flexible with it, but we'll have a little bit of stuff to do, because otherwise we are basically missing 2 weeks of class. It would be like a 2-week spring break rather than a 1-week spring break. You follow what I mean? From the way the numbers work out with class time. So, so that's kind of the spring break situation. So before we do that, that means you guys need to step on the gas with getting this book and this book. This one we'll do a little bit later. So that one wouldn't be as important, but again, it's going to be pretty cheap. If you're just getting all the books, I would just, if you're getting them from Amazon or wherever you're getting them from, probably look for all 3. And I suspect this one will be, all 3 of these will be relatively inexpensive since they're kind of old books at this point. This one was written originally by this guy. I think it was the 70s. But let's see. Was it really that even? 91, I think. It was the first version of this book. So students have reflected on this book, and they think it's really good. So this is a very famous best-selling book that Maxwell wrote. And for this, we're going to be doing kind of discussion board posts and then in-class discussion. So when you come to class, you will then be expected to read that chapter. And so let me just show you the first one here. So they have 21 laws. So he called them irrefutable laws. So we've got, back this enough. The law of the lid, the law of influence, the law of process. And they're fairly short. The law of navigation, the law of addition, the law of solid ground, the law of respect, intuition, magnetism, connection, inner circle, empowerment, picture, buy-in, victory, the big mo, priorities, sacrifice, timing, explosive growth, and legacy. So those 21 laws, we're going to work through kind of chapter by chapter. 1 and 2 is due Thursday already. So 1 and 2 is due Thursday, and you're going to do those on Blackboard. I have all 21 as a discussion post. and you're going to list how this applies to your life. I might pull it up later, but otherwise, we'll see where we get to on that application. But so that's going to be due Thursday. I think you might not have this by Thursday, so I am going to give you chapters 1 and 2 in a PDF form, because that's legal to do, knowing that you guys are going to have it coming. So you'll have the chapters 1 and 2 that's due for Thursday. I'll post to Blackboard in an announcement, and then you can start on that whenever you want between now and our class meeting. That's when we need to have those done. So, questions on this one? This one's probably a little more on the leadership side of life, and that's what's kind of nice to kind of bring that one in, and there's really easy exercises, and we'll have a little bit of homework stuff that we'll do from here to apply it to your life. But you guys, especially in athletics, with coaches and stuff, you've been exposed to kind of some of these things as you go, and you'll be able to relate to it real easy, I think. Any questions there? All right, so this one, again, jump on and get as quickly as possible, too. We're going to start in with homework and presentations and stuff fairly quickly with this. So I would jump on. Basically, your homework today is going to be to have the stuff identified and purchased by tomorrow. So whether it's still coming in the mail or something like that, I can deal with, but that's going to be your first chore, is to make sure you get the content. The last one, our iceberg is melting. This one is really a fun one, a very short read, and it's got pictures. How many college books have pictures? Look at how big that font is. All right, we can read. You can blow through this book in probably less than an hour, depending on how fast of a reader you are. But look at that. We got big pictures. So it's a pretty awesome story, and then we'll have some reflections on it. But our iceberg is melting is kind of written like a children's book, but it's very much not for children. A child, I mean, they can read it and get some of the story, but there's a whole bunch of principles that are built into it. So that's kind of a fun one to talk through, and we'll have our reaction paper with it. Okay, questions on the materials? That's your hit list of the 3. We might have a few other things that we do as we go through the course, but those are the main ones. So then we did a little bit of this with our speed dating exercise. So in-class activities, we'll probably be doing something about every day with in-class activities. So that's where you're coming to class, making sure you get here. Most of these are easy points, or more or less attendance points. If you're here and you're participating, you'll get the points, but if you're not here, you won't. And then if you are gone for an excused absence for a sport or something, you'll have the opportunity to make that up with kind of a short reaction paper on whatever the topic was that you missed. So we'll just cover that if you end up coming up on a missed date or excused absence. So overview. So we will actively engage our creative skills through the semester. I don't know if we call this a semester anymore. And read the selected articles and books. Topics focus on creativity and leadership. Students are encouraged to pursue the course related to personal interests by procuring, reading, and reporting on articles and/or books. After completing several creativity exercises and leadership assignments, you will analyze your personal leadership style and create a plan, develop your leadership capabilities. Both creativity and leadership have varied definitions. So for our purposes, creativity deals with making and communicating novel associations. Using this definition, creativity is generally whenever a change is desired. Leadership has a great deal to do with influencing, supporting others in accomplishing goals and taking action regarding new opportunities, both initiating and managing change. In this capacity, leaders can either serve as catalysts and bring leadership and potential to others more than the surface in beneficial ways, or they can suck at it. They can serve to stifle creative leadership and process that often is vital to organizational evolution, success, and effectiveness. Which one do you want to be, a catalyst or an obstacle? All right, so then here we've got participation. You are expected to be in class on time, fully prepared. So we might have something due before the end of class that you have to have read, you know, the laws like chapter number 1 and 2, chapters 1 and 2 out of this book for Thursday, that you've made your post, you come to class, you're ready to talk. If you haven't done it, you should still come to class because there'll be other in-class stuff besides discussing that. And it's no big deal. I'm an economist. I understand you guys have trade-offs. Russ, I didn't do the posts. I'm out. So then I won't expect you to participate in discussion. But otherwise, as we go around, I expect everybody to participate in the discussion. And part of your grade for the in-class activity is participating in the discussion. Does that make sense? Any questions?
You said 2 chapters for the discussion on Thursday?
Yeah.
Is that Wednesday night?
For this, I've usually been making it before, but I think Wednesday night, I need to think through the logistics on that. So, Bryce, what do you think? I'm asking Bryce because he was in.
Before class because I did it in the morning. So.
I know, that's what I figured. I'll do the morning. I did that. Sometimes I do the night before, but I think we'll do the morning. So. All right. So was that why your hand was up? Is that what you were requesting? That it was the morning? Okay. So here's in-class activities that'll be every day, kind of fun and easy. Basically attendance points. There are 100 possible points for this category, and so depending on how many activities, that's going to make up that 22% of your grade. If you have an excused absence, like games for athletes, you can make it up with a reaction paper related to topic missed, and possibly an oral presentation to the class, depending on what we did that day. Creativity group exercise. All right, so this is a big one here. So you will be leading, I guess you guys have this in front of you. So, you will be leading the class in a group creativity exercise of your choosing and or design. Your activity, one or more, should be at least 20 to 30 minutes long. So we're going to do it in class that day with you leading the group. You should provide a handout that explains what your exercise is, kind of an instruction sheet, and you may also use the computer if you need it. Start thinking now, scour the internet, and come up with an idea. Here are the steps you need to take. Do this Friday. Find an exercise you would like to do and email it to me. No duplicates. So if you guys Google and 5 of you come up with, oh, this is a really cool exercise, I'm going to do this one. It's going to be first come, first serve if somebody has an exercise. So you're going to be looking for things that other people have done. You can modify it. You can come up with your own. Maybe it's something you did back in grade school or at summer camp or something. You're like, oh, we had this fun exercise where we taped stuff on people's back or whatever. You can totally come up with it from scratch if you want. But it should be something that kind of stimulates creativity, is part of what should be graded on. So you may cut and paste your idea, but make sure it's specific enough. I will approve, deny, or ask for more information on your idea. So after you email me, and you can email me tonight if you want. If you do this, if you're like, oh, I'm going to get the best one, and so you guys want to start hunting on this tonight, you can email me, this is the one I want to do, and I'll come back and say, okay, or I want a little more information on what your idea is. So we're just at the idea phase, right, on this one. Make sure you kind of approved your idea. And then do Sunday, the 24th, which is basically after spring break. So this is part of your spring break stuff, is you need to prepare a plan with more detail. So now I've approved your idea. Prepare a plan for your day to lead creativity. Your plan should include the steps with estimated times for each step such that they add to 20 to 30 minutes. So you're kind of giving me your game plan of this is what I want to do. I've kind of thought through that this is what it's going to look like. And then we'll have you upload that to Blackboard. So you'll upload that to our Blackboard shell for that part. And then we'll be, oh, let's see, is that right? No, this is a typo. This is Monday, March 25th. So if you want to cross off on your syllabus, I'm looking for somebody to start us off with this Monday after spring break. Does anybody want to just say, I want to get this out of the way, and I'll be the first to go? And I'm usually a little easier on grading. first person because I know that it's a little scary sometimes. Bobby, you're the man. All right, so plan on Monday. So Bobby's going to be our first, whatever he comes up with. So you can start those steps early. So we'll kind of, depending on the content that I need to hit, we're going to have somebody else in the hole. Does anybody else want to be second to go? I saw Gavin first. All right, so Gavin and Bobby. And so what I'll do, I probably won't do this for Monday, but normally I'll have both of you prepared for the day. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should just break. Okay, so creativity. Value. Yeah. Okay, Bryce, I'll put you in the 3 position. The rest of you, I'll just hold off. Let's just, we don't have to solve the whole thing, but now we've got a good start. So probably on Monday, I'll just do 1 for sure, but there might be some days where I want both people prepared that day. And why that's important is all of a sudden Bobby's sick, right? Like he woke up that morning and he was throwing up. I want Gavin ready to present that day because I was planning to have a presenter in the schedule. So, so Gavin, are you cool with that to be ready by Monday? Okay. Yeah, by that time you'll pretty much have, we'll be through these steps. I guess you guys will need to get me this a little quicker. So just keep that in mind. If you want to jot down on your syllabus, maybe you should get this to me by, let's do it by Friday so we can talk about it. Like I'll kind of help you out if it looks a little fuzzy or something. So for you two only, why don't you plan on Friday so that we can talk about it at class, and then you'll be ready. So. But otherwise, I'll probably plan to just have one of you go. Of course, Bobby will be first unless he's sick. And then Tuesday, we probably have Gavin go, and Bryce will have you in the hole for the Tuesday, and that's kind of how we'll play. And we might have both Gavin and Bryce go. And sometimes it depends on how long your presentation was too. So, all right. Did anybody have any questions on the presentation, creativity, group exercise? How many of you have done something like that? Does that ring a bell that you've done at summer camp or other classes, or maybe your coaches have done it? Kind of a something or other. I don't know what it would be, but it'll be a kind of a good hunt for you to find something. There's lots of stuff out there. Okay, article reaction papers. So this is more for down the road as a possibility to introduce. So when I say, oh, we're going to do a reaction paper on something, each student will provide an oral summary of a relevant article of interest to class. Presentations are informal, 5 minutes or less. So part of this class is getting you a little more comfortable in being in front of somebody and give you some experience with a little bit of talking. The articles should be related to leadership and or creativity and or change, can be taken from professional academic journals, newspapers, periodicals. One article should be, oh, that's a little typo from the old days. You guys need to catch this one. I was updating my syllabus. So the article should be no older than December of 2020. So basically, I want something recent. 2020, December 2020. 1 to 2 page paper describing the article, reaction, include points of agreement, points of disagreement, lessons learned, applications, knowledge gained. There's not going to be a lot of these, just so you know, but it's just another thing that we might do in some cases. And so then when people do presentations, the final exam will include some of these articles, so potentially, so take notes during the presentation. I'll remind you of that stuff when we get to that, if it's applicable. Reaction paper. The assignment is to read Our Iceberg is Melting, and then do the reaction paper to that. We'll have some classroom discussion there too. And then we do have a midterm and a final. So this will be in class, and most of the midterm and final is related to what I'm calling the textbook. A look like the textbook, but this one. So that is kind of the midterm final content. So that's why that one's important. Personal digital devices. So turn off your vibrate and your ringer. Do not engage with your device anything outside of class. You'll lose points by not separating yourself from your class. Internal distractions like daydreaming, as well as good old-fashioned disruptions of excessive talk with a neighbor will not cost you points, but will be subject to a verbal lashing or a different seating assignment at my discretion. So I don't allow phones even on your chairs. So if you've got your cell phone out now, or if it's on the table, I think most of the words on campus that I don't allow that, so most of you are probably good, but it needs to be like actually in your backpack. And it's best to have the vibrate off and everything so you're disconnected. Every now and then you may pick up a few extra credit points by dragging yourself to class of mine. You may also earn some of these points by answering correctly some of the tougher questions I stir up. Points can go the other way too. An incoming ring will cost you a point. However, an incoming ring for me gets you a point. So almost inevitably, I did it today, but I forget to shut off, especially during this transition time. And so if my phone rings, you all, whoever's present in class gets a point that day. All right, academic integrity, don't cheat. Consequences can range from an F on the item to the course and reporting to the dean. Written material must follow APA writing style. That's not quite as applicable here. We don't have like a big paper that you guys are doing. If you have any special needs or accommodations, make sure you come and see me at the beginning. And then the rest of this is just kind of boilerplate from the university. Auto student email, Blackboard. Let me go ahead and pull up the Blackboard shell. We'll do that first. Let's see. I think you guys are all pretty savvy with this. How many of you are freshmen? Didn't think any of you were, but I looked at it. Okay, sophomore? Okay. Junior? Senior? A couple seniors out your door here. All right. Whoops. All right, so this is, of course, my instructor version, but your guys' will look very similar. Leadership, creativity, and change. So basically, under this course material, I'll do announcements from time to time, like giving you guys the copy of the other stuff. What is this? Oh, course material. There's two course materials. How did that happen? I have to try to delete that one. So we'll have assignments for uploads. So we have little folders here under course materials. So this will be probably this week. We'll get to some of this stuff, and you'll submit your answers and upload it to Blackboard copies of it. And then this is kind of stuff that we'll work on all the way through, but that is some of your assignments. The folder. All I'm doing now is just trying to show you where it is. So if I say go to the assignment, class lectures. So I will have some PowerPoints that we'll do. You don't have to download them or bring them to class, but if you want to, I just want to let you know that they all are here. So when I talk in class, if I go through a PowerPoint or something, it is housed in here as well. So you can have that accessible that way. Let's see. Class lectures. Wait, that's what I just did. So here's your detailed plan. So your first step, this is worth 100 points. and we'll kind of build on. So you're going to upload your plan. This will be this first spot here, but your whole 100 points is also going to be graded on how you do the activity. I don't participate in your activity, so as you plan on what you're going to do, you can plan on the people in the classroom that are there, because I'm going to be observing you and doing some grading that way. So that'll be that spot. And then the iceberg melting, there's some prompts and stuff. And then we'll have, this is actually hidden from you guys right now, but we'll have the education and more when we get to that stage in the class. We'll have content for that, just to give you an idea. This is what we did for the ripples of change. We drew on the board. We came up with different brainstorming exercises, all kinds of stuff that we'll have here. And then you can, this is a PowerPoint that was put together. Some stuff will be individual, some stuff will be group exercise oriented. A lot of group stuff though. This is part of what we did. This is in this room right here, kind of coming up with ideas for that and running through the steps of the creative process. Okay, any questions there? Course material, I think that's it. That was even more than one, so you're not going to see that other thing. It's hidden from you already. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little thought exercise with you. So I want you to think about the best class you've ever had. Could even be high school. The best class you've ever had. So the best class I ever had. I'm just going to put that on. And so I want you to think about what the students did and what the instructor did. So what the students did and what the instructors did. So what students did, what instructor did. Go. What did the students do in the best class you've ever had? Yeah.
Get along.
Get along, okay.
A very small finance class in high school.
Okay.
We all know each other.
Okay, good. What else? And you guys, if you want to say what the instructor did, I can flip-flop back and forth. If your brain's going one way or the other, I'd like every single one of you to give me an answer. Ashan?
Instructor engaged in classroom activity.
Okay. I won't write it down just to keep things brief, but can you give me an example of an activity that did?
We had
Heidi? Fuentes?
Yeah.
Professor Fuentes?
Yeah, he was always interactive. He really said became like fastest from
Okay.
talking.
Okay, good. I thought I said Jake. Yeah, I think
I took a cooking class in high school.
Okay.
Students cooked.
So what is that? The students
Yeah,
cook?
students cooked. Okay. Also the teacher.
And you got to eat too?
Yeah, we got to eat.
Okay, yeah, well, that would make it fun. Yeah, cook and eat.
And the
Okay.
instructor actually cooked her as well.
And she what?
She cooked as well. The instructor
Uh-huh.
on her own.
And did both. So the instructor cooked also. All right, food. Food, I guess here. Okay, Bryce.
Students actively participated in class.
Okay.
All the students
Active participation. Yes, Gabe, right? Is that you? Ricardo, sorry, where's Gabe? My eyeballs go. All right, there's Gabe. Ricardo.
Oh, I had an ethics class.
Uh-huh.
My instructor was really creative.
Was really what?
Creative.
Creative, okay.
Yeah, so like teaching engagement class.
So can you describe one of those creative things? So I'll put creative, but instructor was creative, like,
So
an example maybe?
we had not a book, we used to follow, but we also, we go outside the classroom.
Ah, okay. So creative with outside
Yeah.
of class stuff. Okay. Who's next? Yeah, Bobby.
The students do projects.
Projects, okay. What kind of projects did you do?
We had like a 2-week long project to build a roller coaster.
Oh yeah, like a physical roller coaster? Like it was a
We had to put a
high
model
school
in it,
thing or something?
but, yeah.
Okay, with the model. Cool. So projects. So this was a project. Was a physical. You said a model of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. Who's next? People who haven't gone. Really?
Like they gave us the freedom to research the teacher.
The teacher. Okay. Yeah.
Research things that he was the best instead of just they had to do
Ah. Okay. Yeah.
learning stuff related to that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Who else? Who's left?
The teacher was relaxed.
Okay. Teacher was relaxed. Like stone relaxed or
He was
pot smoker or not?
just laid back about his assignments, like
Okay.
he wasn't, I guess, too hard on you.
Okay. So relaxed way for, so not necessarily grading, but just,
Yeah, like he made the class feel relaxed. Like he would,
okay,
when he went into class, he didn't feel so much stress.
okay. Made students feel relaxed. Okay,
The teacher assigned interesting books.
okay,
To write about.
okay, Jagged.
Yeah, we could,
Yeah, no?
instructor to like tell stories, like told good stories.
Okay, good
Our
stories.
seventh grade math teacher was a skydiving pilot.
Oh, yeah.
Or not a pilot.
A skydiver.
Instructor, yeah.
Okay, oh, instructor.
Yeah.
Always good stories. All right, Gabe, what do you got?
Instructor was always
Okay. Maybe I'll just squeeze this one. Open for questions. Okay, good. All right, so then we have over here the class from hell. Students, instructor. Without naming names or anything, we're not going to get totally nasty here, but we've all had one of those type of classes maybe. So who wants to go first? The class from hell. Bob.
The instructor assigned a 5-page paper every week.
Okay. 5-page paper every week. That does sound for me. I'm not going to do that good. I'm not going to grade those things. That sucks as an instructor. So, Sean?
Students arguing and fighting.
Okay. Arguing, fighting. So that can add some stress to the classroom, right? Bryce?
There's kind of both of them, but like when the students and the instructors don't get along, they're kind of trying to undermine each other throughout the entire class.
Okay. So the students may be trying to undermine instructor.
And then the instructor gets mad and makes it even harder.
Instructor retaliation.
Yeah.
Retaliation from confrontation or something. I don't know. Either verbally or maybe with harder assignments or something. Okay.
Instructor spoke Spanish.
Okay.
Very little English.
Ah, okay. And this was not Spanish class?
No, it was Spanish class.
Oh, it was Spanish
Yeah,
class.
it was.
Oh, okay. But that was tough for you. Okay, so, all right. So, how should I put that? Mostly Spanish speaking. Mostly Spanish speaking. in Spanish class. Yeah, I can find that, difficult, of course. A lot of places try to do that, but you got to have a little leeway. They were pretty hardcore on don't say a word, figure it out. Okay. What else? Class from hell. Gavin.
More of my high school problem. Just did not want to be there.
Okay.
You know,
So students not wanting to be there.
just can't,
So they're disruptive. All right. What else? Class from hell. You got one, or you just patting your head?
I go for students weren't participating.
Okay. So the students not participating. All right, anything else? Class from hell. Let's squeeze out a few more. And it can be personal, like the Spanish or the 5-page every week or whatever, stuff that you didn't like to do. You didn't like to cook or something, even though the cooking was fun.
well,
Carter?
my first year here in the U.S. and the instructor used to talk so.
Yeah. That can, especially when it's your second language, it's difficult to follow along. So, instructor talked too fast. Let's see, we got, who else haven't we heard from? I want to hear from everybody again, so get your hands up. Yep. Okay.
Don't forget to sign.
Oh, of course, yeah. So don't grade or grade really late, like you turned in something and like a month later, you're still wondering what you're going to get graded on. Yeah, so don't grade timely. Let's just put whatever that means exactly. Okay.
Students complaining.
Students what?
Complaining.
Complain. Students complaining. Really? Did you get one? Okay.
I guess when teachers really ask how
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Makes me feel, or other students feel stupid. It's not even necessarily if it happened to you, but if you see how they treated another student, then you're like, oh, I'm not going to ask a question there or something. Okay? Good. All right, so there's kind of a list here on good class, bad class, and I'm going to try to do, I agree with these things that you guys did here, and for this class, it's even easier for me to do that where I don't have to feel like we have to hit supply and demand curves and this and that, and so for my principles class that many of you have had, we have kind of a set amount of stuff that are really content that I need to get to. I'd like to think I bring it through in kind of a fun way, but maybe students don't always feel that way. So with this, I have a little more flexibility, and I think I'm going to do my best to try to make the class look more like this one than this one. And we can kind of see the overlap. What's nice about writing it on the board is we can see the stuff, right, on what makes a good class and what makes a bad class, right? So you can almost pick some of these off here with the being creative, free to speak, but making me feel dumb. So that's not really freedom to speak and be free to figure out what you want to do on your own. Things were very maybe prescriptive. So yeah, you're going to have a lot of opportunity and freedom to come up with your own content as we move through. All right. So any questions? All right, tomorrow we're going to start digging right into this. So what's your homework tonight? Get the stuff ordered, get it coming. And I will also post online the first couple chapters for this book so that you guys can start doing that if you want. Wait a second, I think we still have a little time, don't we? 3 minutes. This isn't going to take very long, but I do want to show you, I forgot the discussion part on the online. Has anybody not done discussion board posts? Just curious. everybody has at this point. Now you guys are far enough. We're getting more and more. Did that stupid thing time out again? Oh my gosh. Oh, forget it. It's not that important. But you'll see it on the discussion post. I've got all 21 there, and then you just click it. And then I have a prompt that kind of helps you think through what I want you to do. How does this apply to your life type of thing? So you'll read it. That's all I was going to show you. So you guys will see that on your own. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh. Okay. What is it? Oh, okay. Okay. No. Always come later. I'm even wondering, I don't know where your car is, but I suppose if it's something like that, you're basically going to go to the office and maybe come back. I'm trying to decide if maybe you could be to the front of the class. So feel free to come in, leave. If you think the timing would work, that's totally fine with me. You can come to 11:45, stay till what time you're coming?
It's at
12:10. So that would still give you 15 minutes of class, whatever we're working on that day, and then go do your impressions and go back. No, you're fine. Yep, that's especially this class. We're going to be disruptive all the time. So, and I think so. Did we have? I was obviously noticeable that we didn't really emails. Alicia, that was really strange. So I'm trying to think of, are we really told to? Oh my God.